Them gains, extreme. Shit we see, extreme. Wanna know about corruption? Well, listen to what I see. An algorithmic money making, taking, flipping, fucking scheme. And if you let it, you'll get it. They'll gut you till you bleed. A lot of y'all get fucked by the bucket, yet you think it's free. Yeah, it's me. We're a team, extreme.
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's up, Extreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck, and this is Extreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Sunday Fun Day, Sunday, March 26th, 2023, and this is my AMC, GME, and SPY weekly update and preparation video where I go over everything that I am personally looking at and looking for with all three tickers moving into this upcoming week. I'm going to do that by going over my intra-week snake algo method and some technical levels and technical setups. So with all of that said, let's dig in. Quick premature announcement here. I was just made aware of this on Thursday, and I did talk to some of y'all in the live stream briefly about this on Wednesday. My next surgery is scheduled for Monday, May 8th. So I am assuming that I will be out of commission most of, if not all of, the month of May. However, I still got the whole month of April that I'm going to keep pushing and grinding through here. So I'm assuming I'll probably do at least 2 live streams in the month of April leading up to that surgery. But just wanted to give you the heads up that that will be coming up, and more than likely I will be out of commission for a period of time after that surgery in May. Other than that, I don't have any other announcements. I hope everybody had a great week in the market last week, and let's go ahead and dive into these charts. Currently on the screen is AMC and my current intra-week snake. AMC finished the day on Friday, regular trading hours. Even Steven, and then up 0.22% in after hours, ending the week trading at 448. The current intra-week snake that has been fulfilling its projection now for 11 consecutive weeks is on the screen in red. That is the day prior to the previous divergence from and completion of fulfillment of the previous intra-week snake. You can see that once again, all of this week, it continued to fulfill its projection as shown, and you can see the location of price action within it and what the upcoming projection would be from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it. There was the blue day of divergence that was showing a hard upside move going into this past week. We did not get that hard upside move. However, we did get an upside move. You can see that it is showing some consolidation moving out here into the future as an upcoming projection and what looks to be a translated macro double bottom before a subsequent move to the upside. So I will be tracking that a little bit here, but nonetheless, the red day prior to is definitely and definitively the most accurate fulfilling intra-week snake out of the two of them, and anything other than a continued fulfillment of it will be deemed a divergence, and then a new set of intra-week snakes will be clipped for AMC moving forward. From a technical perspective, I talked about this in last week's weekly update and prep, and nothing has changed. I am looking at this as a potential bottom location. My box top methodology and method in here with a macro reverse third is showing this as a potential bottom location. If that is the correct reverse third, this is the bottom for AMC. However, if that is incorrect, the next reverse third location down from that one is right here, which would put that bottom and the B line move down to it quite a bit lower if that critical level of support were to breach. However, I am looking at this as a bottom formation as we have a defined lower and upper neckline here with a critical level of support. So even though the day prior to intra-week snake is showing a breach and a failed build of this bottom and a move to the downside, I do think that it is possible, and it is a possibility that this thing does continue to build out and mirror that downside projection with a neckline breach to the upside and a potential fulfillment of the macro third locations that I have sitting in here as well. So looking at it as a bottom formation with that framework in there, the levels that I will be looking at moving into this upcoming week for AMC will be that neckline for this bottom formation, the lower neckline at 458, followed by $5, followed by 530, followed by 555, and then 590. To the downside, the critical level of support is at 415. A breach of that, the next level down I'll be looking at will be 390, followed by 350, followed by 240. And that is everything that I am looking at with AMC. Up next is GME. GME finished the day on Friday, regular trading hours, up 6.2% and then down 0.46% in after hours, ending the week trading at 23.87. The only intra-week snake I had was a day of divergence that showed an upside move for that earnings move. GME had earnings last week and it got a 50-something% move to the upside. This was the only one that remained somewhat relevant and was showing an upside move out of this macro double bottom. So you can see that we did outrun that by quite a bit, but since then have subsequently pulled back and converged back with it. So if that were to be the case moving forward after this now convergence back with it, you can see what the upcoming projection would be from that intra-week snake if price action were to continue to fulfill it. However, what I did also do is if I were to look at that earnings move as a divergence from the red day prior to that was showing a continued consolidation down here, I needed to clip a new set of intra-week snakes, and I have done that. And here they are. Blue is the day of that divergence, meaning the earnings day and the move from earnings. You can see the continued fulfillment of it throughout the week, last week, where we're at within it, and what the upcoming projection would be from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it. And then red, the day prior to, likewise, has continued to fulfill throughout the end of last week. You can see the location of price action within it and what the upcoming projection from it would be if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Here are both of them. You can see where they are alike moving forward and then where they are different with their projections. From a technical perspective with GME, those of you that have been with me for any period of time know that a while back I talked about this translating to this macro double bottom formation and retest of that macro ascending level of support. That is what has ended up fulfilling here with that earnings move back upside off of that retest of that macro ascending level of support. We did make a move directly back up to this macro third that provided the middle box top formation on that macro double bottom for a retest of it. We failed to breach that to the upside, have now since pulled back, put in a small macro double bottom with its own neckline, and we have breached that back to the upside, and that is currently where we are sitting. I did frame that price action in for the sake of levels, so I am looking at it like that. To the upside, the levels that I will be looking at will be 24.25. A breach of it, I'm looking for it to come back up and retest this top on this macro third again at 27.25, followed by 28.60, followed by 30.60, which would both be these third hits here on this new potential macro third. However, to the downside, if it were to release from its current position and or reject off the 24.25 after a short upside move here, the level to the downside I'm looking for a breach of initially will be $23. Then I'll be looking for a retest of this previous bottom at 22.11, followed by 19.50 previous top, followed by $19, followed by $18. And that is everything that I am looking at with GME. Last but not least is SPY. SPY finished the day on Friday, regular trading hours, up 0.66%, then up an additional 0.18% in after hours, ending the week trading at 396.46. The current set of intra-week snakes are right here on the screen. Blue is the day of the previous divergence from and completion of fulfillment of the previous intra-week snake, and red is the day prior to that same divergence. Blue, the day of, I talked about briefly in last week's update and prep, as there were a potential for multiple views of this moving forward. The only one of the few that I discussed in the weekly update and prep last week that remain intact are this or is this one. I can't talk today for some reason, bear with me. This one here was what I talked about last week, showing that bottom being fulfilled in a mirrored manner, a convergence back with it for the continued fulfillment, and it has continued to fulfill throughout all of last week. You can see where price action is located within it and what the upcoming projection would be from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it. However, the red day prior to has definitely been the most accurate here with its projection and subsequent fulfillment throughout. Here is the placement of it with the continued fulfillment of it throughout all of last week. Once again, you can see where price action is located within it, the continued fulfillment of it, and what the upcoming projection would be from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Then from a technical perspective, I talked about this in last week's update and prep video as well. Again, using my box top method, I have a macro reverse third sitting here, projecting this to be a potential bottom location and formation. We got the double bottom formation and the neckline breach to upside. We went back up to that macro ascending level of support, rejecting off of it, back down, and we have now created another external ascending level of support, therefore creating this ascending wedge that we are consolidating in this grind up fashion. We have now retested that upper ascending level of support 3 separate times and have rejected off of it and failed to turn it back into support for a continuation to upside move. So to the upside, that is what I'll be looking for if price action is to get a continued fulfillment of that red intra-week snake to the upside. It would have to turn that significant level of now resistance as that ascending level of support back into support for that continuation to upside. However, if it were to reject off of it once again, and I do have an internal third in here converging with it here at about the $399 $400 level here and reject back downside, I'll be looking for it to come back down and retest that external ascending level of support first, and then I have the levels to the downside as well. So in both of those scenarios, the significant levels of support and resistance that I will be looking at will be to the upside. The initial breach of 398 internally, I'll be looking for a retest here at around the $400 level. A breach of that to the upside, I'll be looking for this third hit in here at around 405. If it were to validate and breach that to the upside, the next level up will be 407.50 at this previous top, followed by 415, which would put it up here at the convergence of both of those thirds. To the downside, the initial breach to the downside I'll be looking at will be 395 internally, followed by 392, followed by 389.50, which will be the retest of that external ascending level of support. A breach of it, the next level down I'll be looking at will be the macro descending level of resistance that has housed all of SPY's price action for quite some time, again at the 386 level. My friends, my family, that is everything that I have that I am personally looking at with all 3 tickers moving into this upcoming week, and that's everything I have for this video. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you all very much. Greatly appreciate it. Good luck in the markets this week. Make some extreme gains for yourselves. I will not be live this week. I'll be live again on the YouTube channel here and on the Twitch channel next Wednesday. So good luck to everybody this week in the market, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Later, y'all.